Hines.
About that time, David, we see Joey Anderson and James Witherspoon out there for the Oak Ridge Wildcats. It's a little hard to see Clinton as they will be in white with orange numerals tonight. It looks like number 70, Ricky Moore, and I want to say that the other one is Jeff Mouse, number 53, but it's just a little too hard to see in white. Oak Ridge has won the toss and will defer to the second half. Oak Ridge will start on defense tonight.
So both teams are getting ready. The fans are across the way from the Clinton side are on their feet. A nice large crowd on hand here at Blankenship Field. We're glad you tuned in. The football game will be getting set momentarily. I'd like to remind everyone last night's game, if you didn't hear the score, the Robertsville Rams are the new Oak Ridge City champions. They defeated Jefferson by a score of 20-7, and that was a good ball game also.
Sure was, David. It was an excellent ball game by both teams, really. Both teams are good, and both teams will finish high in the district this year. It's a good contest to watch and a good one to cover.
And it'll be Clinton receiving the football from Oak Ridge. So we'll be back in 30 seconds with the kickoff of this exciting football game. David Cleary and Jim Vines back here at Blankenship Field before the start of this football game between the Dragons of Clinton and the Oak Ridge Wildcats. Both teams are out on the field, dropping back to receive the kick for the Dragons.
I want to say Toby Willis, but it may not be. I think that's him.
Either that or Brian Wilson. Like Jim Vines said earlier, it's going to be hard for us to distinguish the numbers of the Clinton Dragons as they're wearing white uniforms and orange numerals. Of course, the Wildcats in their cardinal and gray. Eric Thomas will be kicking off for Oak Ridge from the 40-yard line, and I believe it is Willis and Wilson back to receive the kick. We're about to get set. Clinton has waited for this for 13 years. And maybe this will be the night they win. We'll just have to see. And Eric Thomas tees it up for Oak Ridge. The Oak Ridge fans on their feet. Clinton fans also. The kick is high and driving to the right side. It's going to be fielded by Willis at the 5-yard line. Up to the 10-yard line. Breaks it up and punches down to the 20. Fumbles the football. And the Oak Ridge Wildcats signaling that they have recovered it, but the referee says that Clinton will have it and the Dragons will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball will be spotted down at the, I believe, the 17-yard line of Clinton.
I believe that was a good call, David, but he really got popped that time, and it looks like I asked a few people before the ball game that are close to the Wildcats if the Cats looked fired up, and they said it was a real good week of practice, and they had a little fire in their eyes tonight.
Up to the line of scrimmage for the Clinton Dragons. First down, 10 yards to go from the 17-yard line. The quarterback is Joe Wallace. The backfield consists of Holbrook, Hudson, and Willis, I believe. Wallace, handoff, wants to roll to the right side. Looks down the field for a man to come free. The Oak Ridge defense in pursuit. Wallace is going to be hit as he throws the pass off incomplete. A good pursuing defense that time by Oak Ridge.
It was, but I kind of like to see Clinton coming out throwing the ball. They're going to try to test Oak Ridge early and give Coach Brown a lot of credit. He's backed up in his own territory there. He's away from home, big game against Oak Ridge, and he comes out throwing. That'll tend to loosen things up a little bit.
For the Clinton Dragons, it'll be second down, 10 yards to go from their own 17, 11:27 to go here in the first quarter of play. We're just underway from Blankenship Field. Once again, Clinton comes up from the wishbone formation. Wallace calls a play. In motion off to the left side will go Willis. Backfield remains from the wishbone. Second down, 10 yards to go. Handoff goes left side for some running room. Carrying the ball, I believe, was Brian Wilson, and he gets the ball across the 20-yard line, spotted down at about the 22. It'll be a pickup on the play of about 4 yards, so to bring up third down, and 6 yards to go. And Jim Vines, I believe there's a Clinton Dragon injured on the play.
I believe it's 21 Phil Holbrook, but again, it's going to be difficult tonight. Clinton's jerseys just do not bring out the numbers. We'll do the best we can, but that does look like Holbrook. He'll have to come out of the game. He looks like he's just walking off a cramp or some kind of sprain. He's off under his own power.
We have 11 minutes, 12 seconds to go in the first quarter. Clinton and Oak Ridge, like we talked about earlier, Clinton is a more ball control type offense. They like to grind out the yardage and work on the clock, and it's going to be a test for the Oak Ridge defense. They've had some trouble defending against those kind of teams.
If they run it straight ahead 4 times and go for it on 4th down, they'll probably pick up the first down. They just hope to be in good field position to be able to try it on 4th down.
It'll be third down, 6 yards to go once again for Clinton from the 21-yard line of the Dragons. Handoff quickly goes up the middle to about the 25-yard line. It's going to be short of first down yardage as carrying the football once again, I believe, was Hudson, I'm not too sure. Marcellus Jones on the tackle for Oak Ridge. It'll be 4th down facing the Clinton Dragons.
Big stop by the Wildcats, much like last week against Farragut. They felt if they could stop them in early possessions, it would give them an advantage. Oak Ridge here punting from the 25. Clinton will be, and Oak Ridge will take over in pretty good field position.
Jamie Redmond back to receive the kick for Oak Ridge. The snap is low, the punt is away. High looping kick. Redmond will let it bounce at the 40-yard line. He's still watching it. It's going to go all the way back down to the 24-yard line, and that's where Oak Ridge will have it. 1st down, 10 yards to go from their own 24-yard line. 10:07 to go, and we'll be back after this 30-second break. First down, 10 yards to go from the I formation. 9:57 to go, first quarter. Williams wants to pass, rolls to the right side, pass across the way, incomplete, nearly intercepted. It'll be 2nd down facing the, it'll be 2nd down as we missed the first play of the Wildcat drive. The pass by Dean Williams was incomplete.
It was intended for Orion Cox on the 99. Dean just missed him a little bit. Dean looked good rolling out though, and they're getting Cox involved in the offense. We see Alfred Jones coming into the ball game, bringing in the play. He'll be split wide to the left. Split to the right will be David Warrington.
From the 24-yard line of Oak Ridge, Williams brings him up once again from the I. 2nd down, 10 yards to go. 9:48 to go here in the first quarter of play. Williams, pitch out right side goes to Witherspoon, trips and falls as he comes across the 25, manages to stumble up to the 29-yard line. A nice pickup by the senior running back.
David, whenever he is about ready to go down, he is always able to pick up an extra yard or two. That time they got a fairly bad spot. He picked up about 5 yards. It looked like he got about 6.5 on that. We see Joey Anderson now entering the ball game. Out Warrington and Jones, they'll be bringing in a tight end, I would think, as Oak Ridge will line up split to the left this time.
Wide to the left side will go Anderson. Once again up to the line of scrimmage, Oak Ridge from the 26-yard line, 29-yard line. Williams, pitch out left side. Witherspoon gets the block on the right side, 30, 35, down to the 36-yard line. 1st and 10 for Oak Ridge.
Doing a good job on this outside, running to the strong side of the field, David. Give credit to Joey Anderson. Split out wide to the left. The man had to go with him as they ran the option series on the left side this time. Good job by Joey Anderson and a nice job by James Witherspoon. He used his blocks real well. Basically came inside the end and then shot it outside. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats.
8 minutes, 59 seconds to go, first quarter. Oak Ridge 1st down, 10 yards to go from their own 35-yard line. Williams wants to pass across the way, complete to Cox. Breaks it open, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Oak Ridge.
They did it right down the middle of the gut. They've done it earlier in the season. David, Dean Williams just dropped back, cool as a cucumber, and hit Orion Cox right dead in the chest. 6-0, Oak Ridge Wildcats.
8 minutes, 41 seconds to go here in the first quarter, and the Oak Ridge fans are on their feet. The Clinton fans a little bit stunned after that brilliant pass play from Dean Williams to Orion Cox. Eric Thomas into the game to attempt the point after. Once again, Williams will be holding. Thomas, the senior, will spot it up at the 10-yard line. Stick is on his way. It's going to be good, and we'll be back after this break.
Clinton's starting to fire off the ball a little bit better, David, as Oak Ridge is basically trying to let the linebackers come in and make the stop. They're filling the gaps, but Clinton's beating them off the line of scrimmage at this point.
It'll be 2nd down, 7 yards to go for the Clinton Dragons as they come up to the line of scrimmage. The 43-yard line of Clinton. 6:52 to go, first quarter. 7-0 our score, Oak Ridge on top. Wide to the right side once again will go Willis. They come up from the wishbone, 2nd and 7. Handoff quickly goes up the middle for good running room across the 50-yard line inside to Oak Ridge territory. This time carrying the ball was Mark Hudson, and he has what would appear to be another Clinton 1st down, and he does exactly at the 50-yard line.
A good spot for the Clinton Dragons that time as he drug his knee a little bit, but they gave him the spot for the 1st down. Clinton basically is running off the left side of their formation. They've not had much success running to the right. They're sticking with the left side of their line. Right now they're coming in with an unbalanced line, and a man's going in motion out here to the right. So the strong side is the right, Dave, but they've been running mostly to the left.
From the 50-yard line, 1st and 10, handoff goes up the middle for about 2 yards. Carrying the football this time was Holbrook once again. He has about 2 on the play. That 65-yard touchdown reception by Orion Cox puts him into the record book. So in the last 6 games this season, Dean Williams has had 3 different receivers go into the record books.
It's the quickest I've ever seen a quarterback get records like that as far as passing in Oak Ridge. Usually there's not been that much passing, but they had the receivers this year, David.
Wide to the right side will come Toby Willis from the wishbone formation. Once again, second down, 7 yards to go. The ball in Oak Ridge territory at the 47-yard line. Wallace looks over the Oak Ridge defense. Rolls out to the right side, looks down the field to Willis. He's free. Here comes Cox. The pass is going to be complete at the 45-yard line. A nice tackle by Eric Thomas and James Witherspoon.
Very close to pass interference. They tried to time the hit as they knew he wasn't going to pick up much yardage. Give some credit to that the offensive line for Clinton, as they did a pretty good job protecting the quarterback Wallace. They're rolling out, though. You don't see them dropping back much. I believe they saw in the films last week that you just can't sit in the pocket and throw against Oak Ridge. Those linemen are going to get in there. They're rolling out almost every time.
Third down, 6 yards to go for the Dragons. The ball at the 45-yard line of Oak Ridge. In motion off to the left side will go Jones from the wishbone formation. 3rd and 6. Once again, Wallace will pass. Looks down the right side of the field. The pass is going to be incomplete. It was intended, I believe, once again to Willis on the right side, and it'll be 4th down facing the Clinton Dragons.
Joe Wallace had him open, but he just couldn't put it there. It would have taken a great pass. The Oak Ridge defender was about a step behind. If he'd have put it right on him, he would have caught it, but basically it was good defense for Oak Ridge. They're doing a good job of covering Willis.
And so into the contest will come Cecil Scarborough to punt the ball away for the Dragons. Jamie Redmond once again back to receive the kick, standing back at his own 10. 4:52 to go, first quarter. Oak Ridge 7, Clinton nothing. It's a shank punt. Comes off to the right side, might get a good spot. It's going to go close to the end zone. It goes into the end zone for a touchback. If the Dragons had been a little bit more aware of where the ball was, they might have had it pinned down at the 1.
David, the first man down is supposed to try to find the ball first, at least the first or second man down. That's his responsibility. Somebody trailing the play should have been yelling to him about that, but it's a high school ball, and it's a good break for the Oak Ridge Wildcats.
So Oak Ridge will have the ball, first down, 10 yards to go at their own 20-yard line, leading by a score of 7-0. 4:42 to go in the first quarter. Alfred Jones wide to the left side, Joey Anderson wide right. Backfield split behind Williams. The running backs are Campbell and Witherspoon. Williams, long count, 1st and 10. Quickly hands off up the middle to Greg Campbell, I believe, and he is hit immediately at the line of scrimmage.
David Clinton is very vulnerable at this point to the pass. They have their 2 inside linebackers up just right behind the down lineman. They have 3 men playing safety, but 2 of them are always shading the strong side of the field. They could come right back with that pass to Orion Cox or somebody right down the middle. They split the zone. They've got 6 more points here.
Up to the line of scrimmage once again will come Oak Ridge. No gain on the play for Campbell, so it'll be from the 20-yard line. Alfred Jones wide to the left side. Williams wants to pass, looks down to the right side to Warrington. He's free. He's open. He cannot get the pass. It was just deflected off his hands, but he had daylight in front of him.
He did, David. Clinton is playing awfully close to the line of scrimmage. I don't think they believe Oak Ridge is going to throw in their own territory. That time again, Cox was open. He was on the strong side that time. If they come back with the same play to him, it's wide open for 6 points.
Pretty much the same play that Tommy Laurendine hit David Brown for last year for the game-winning touchdown at Clinton.
It went right by the Clinton fans. It had to kill them, David.
It'll be 3rd down, 10 yards to go for Oak Ridge. The ball at the 20-yard line. Lunsford wide to the left side. Anderson wide to the right. Williams wants to pass once again across the way. It's complete. And at the 30-yard line for a first down, it's Joey Anderson coming up for the reception.
Big catch for the Wildcats. The way they're going to give him, they're giving him another hard spot. They're probably going to call for a measurement. I believe they'll give him the first. All he has to do, I believe, is get to the 30. When they take over 1st and 10 on the 20, we'll have to see. But Anderson looked like he was about a half a yard ahead of that, and that's another tough spot for the Oak Ridge team.
That is unusual, as it was a touchback, and it is indeed a first down. So they got the ball to the 30, and it'll be 1st and 10, Oak Ridge from that point. 3:47 to go, first quarter.
I'm surprised they even measured it, David. The ball was clearly on the line from up here, but I guess when it's a big game like this and the sticks are on the Clinton side, if I was Clinton, I'd be hollering for measurement too.
1st and 10 for Oak Ridge. To the left side once again wide will go Lunsford. To the right side will go Warrington. I formation, 1st and 10. Dean Williams, the quarterback, will roll to the left side and pitch it out to Witherspoon. He turns the corner, 30, 35, down to the 37-yard line. Flags are down, and we'll have to see what the call is. It's in the vicinity of Greg Campbell.
Could be just about anything right there. We'll wait for the preliminary signal. They're pointing against Oak Ridge.
I believe it was Greg Campbell was holding number 11, David Bunch, who tried to come for the tackle, and it will be indeed a holding call against Oak Ridge. With 3:28 to go, Oak Ridge leads 7-0.
Campbell, the play had already gone by him as he was trying to sustain his block. He may have just pulled the guy down with him as they went to the floor. I really didn't see it, though.
So they'll be stepping the ball back to the 24-yard line, and holding is indeed the call, so it'll be for Oak Ridge. First down and 15 yards to go. Oak Ridge got on the board on a 65-yard touchdown pass from Dean Williams to Orion Cox.
Having a little bit of trouble getting the play in once again, David, as the time is ticking off. They're going to have to hustle up the line as they're running up right now.
Joey Anderson wide to the right side, Alfred Jones wide to the left. Williams looks over the line. First down, call it 16 yards to go. Backfield split. Handoff goes Witherspoon. Witherspoon 30. Breaks it open 35, 40, 45, 50, and pushed out of bounds at the Clinton 45-yard line. A fine run by Witherspoon.
He did a real good job, David, picking his holes that time, and give some credit to some downfield blocking on that play. It was an excellent job. I wish you could see a replay of it. A couple of key blocks, but more important than that, David, he used his blocks extremely well. He waited for him to set up instead of trying to make the play on his own, and Alfred Jones did a good job of getting out of his way there right toward the end of the run.
It'll be first down, 10 yards to go for Oak Ridge. Once again, the backfield split. Wide receivers left and right. From the 47-yard line, Williams will pass across the way. Cox, he's got it once again. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. Touchdown, Orion Cox. Same play, same result. 13-0 our score, 2:38 to go.
David, it's going to be open all night long until they change it. I don't guess it was about 2 minutes ago that I said that very thing. All they have to do, it was the exact same play. Orion Cox lined up on the weak side. Dean rolled out to the right, and he's open. He's got so much speed, the defensive backs can't catch him once he catches the ball. He's just too fast.
So once again, Eric Thomas will be in to attempt the point after. An exciting play. I've said it all. You can say that I'm right, Jim Vines. I wanted Orion Cox in the offense, and he's getting it tonight.
He's got him up 14-0 as Thomas's kick goes into the uprights and through with timeout to score. The Oak Ridge Wildcats 14, the Clinton Dragons 0, back in 60 seconds here at Blankenship Field.
David Cleary, Jim Vines, Andy Hickey, Peter Simons, and Mike Warrending back here at Blankenship Field here on Tennessee Cablevision Channel 7. 2:38 to go in the first quarter of play, and Oak Ridge has taken a 14-0 lead. And we're glad you've tuned in. Another exciting game here on Channel 7. Thomas will be kicking off, and here's the kick by Thomas. Once again, it's a high driving kick. Kickoff by Thomas is up and fielded by Willis at the 10, up to the 15, tries to turn the corner, spins and turns. He'll be brought down by a brutal tackle at the 16-yard line, and it'll be the Dragons taking over first and 10, trailing 14-0.
David, I do believe the Wildcats are a little bit fired up tonight. I see there's a couple of signs over there on the Clinton side that says Eric Who and end it tonight and certain things like that. I don't think that's done anything but to fire Oak Ridge up. And so far, leading 14-0. The biggest thing for them now is to stop Clinton from breaking a big play. At 14-0, a quick touchdown that could get them right back in the ball game. Defense is still going to win it for Oak Ridge.
Once again, from the wishbone formation, Clinton will try to get their ball control offense going. From the 16-yard line, handoff goes for good yardage across the 20-yard line up to about the 22-yard line. Once again, Hudson carrying the ball for the Clinton Dragons. Pick up on the play of about 5 yards.
Clinton's got to get their offense going and take some time off the clock. Oak Ridge has probably had the ball only about 4 or 5 minutes in this first quarter, yet they're on top 14-0. I'd say Clinton basically has had the ball as long, if not longer.
Second down, 5 yards to go for the Clinton Dragons. Once again, Wallace calling the play from the line of scrimmage. Wishbone formation, 1:46 to go first quarter. Handoff goes second man, boom! Behind the line of scrimmage. He's going to be hit. The ball carrier was a nice tackle by Oak Ridge.
Kevin Hartley, number 75 in there for the Cats. He's had good games the last couple of weeks. I believe he was player of the week or received pretty special recognition last week for his play in the Farragut ball game. Out for the Cats now, number 55, that's Kenny Duncan. As Oak Ridge is getting some more secondary people in there, it looks like Jamie Redmond and
Eric Babbitt also.
Eric Babbitt, right.
1:15 to go from the wishbone once again. Third down, 6 yards to go for the Clinton Dragons. The ball at the 20-yard line of Clinton. Wants to pass, does Wallace. Now pitches it out to the right side. Here comes the defense. Once again, he's hit nowhere, baby. He's down at the 20.
Good pursuit by the Wildcats, and give them some credit for staying home. That was a nice play set up by the Clinton Dragons. It just didn't work. They faked it real well. It looked like it was going to be a pass down the field, and the quarterback just pitched it back. The Cats are playing solid defense.
So Cecil Scarborough will come back into the contest, and David Warrington is back to receive the punt. Redmond comes out. He was in there momentarily. The snap is high. The punt is away. High driving kick. Warrington will field it at the 40. Come off the left side, tries to get a block, will not do it, and he's going to go down. They're going to call a clip against Oak Ridge, and Warrington, for the first time, was hemmed in on a return. Good pursuit by the Clinton special teams.
And it was a nice punt, David. The kicker really got it up there well for high school ball. It was up there quite a ways. Warrington really didn't have nothing to do once he caught the ball. He was lucky to get ahead. It will be a hold on the Wildcats, and they'll be pushed back. Looking at the spot, it'll be about the 26-yard line where they'll start, but that hasn't seemed to bother them so far tonight, David. We'll have to see how Clinton comes back on defense. If they start out with that same defensive formation, Oak Ridge's first couple plays could go right back to Cox, and he could have another one. They've got to put a man on him or either knock him down at the line of scrimmage.
Andy Hickey, our statistician, one of our 3 statisticians tonight, Jim Vice, said that hang time was 4 seconds on that punt.
That was a good punt. He got it up there, and it went about 35 or 40 yards, too. So anytime you do that and you got good coverage down the field, it's a good job by the special teams all the way around.
It'll be Oak Ridge taking over. First down, 10 yards to go from their own 30-yard line. Once again, they'll send Alfred Jones wide to the left side, Joey Anderson wide right. From the I formation, 19 seconds to go. Williams will pass. He already has 122 yards. He's got it complete at the 39-yard line, and it's caught by Joey Anderson.
Good catch by Anderson and a better throw by Dean Williams. And basically, David, it wasn't bad coverage by the Clinton Dragons. I believe that was Toby Willis out there on the coverage, and he did an excellent job guarding him, but Williams just put the ball right on the money.
And so that's the end of the first quarter. Our score from Blankenship Field, the Oak Ridge Wildcats 14 and the Clinton Dragons nothing. And we'll be back in 60 seconds. David Cleary, Jim Vines back here at Blankenship Field. Oak Ridge has the ball, second down, 3 yards to go. The ball at their own 35-yard line. Dean Williams brings him up from the I formation. He'll roll to the left side, wants to pass. In comes the pursuit. He's going to be sacked behind the line of scrimmage, all the way back down to the 27-yard line. That time, Jim Vines, nice defensive pursuit by Clinton.
Well, they stuck the end at the line of scrimmage. That time it was Doug Underwood, I believe, was in there replacing Orion Cox, and they just slowed him down at the line of scrimmage. I believe that was Dean's primary receiver. By the time he looked up to find another one, Clinton did a good job. They busted through the line and had him.
Oak Ridge has already rolled up 170 yards total offense here in just the first quarter and the few minutes gone here in the second quarter. Clinton has a total of 34. Backfield split for the Oak Ridge Wildcats. Williams, pitch out left side. Witherspoon's got some room. He goes around the left side. He can't get around the corner. He's going to be tackled down at the 28-yard line, and it'll be fourth down facing Oak Ridge, and into the game will come Jim Cornett.
Barring a tremendous punt here, Clinton's going to take over in decent field position. They'll get it about the 30, 35-yard line, maybe even up to the 40, depending on the run back. They're going to have to start something, David. They've not really been able to get much going on offense. They've tried a few gadget plays. I'm surprised they just haven't stuck to the original game plan a little bit longer and tried to grind it out. 14-0 right here. Looks like their defense has settled down a little bit. It's still anybody's ball game.
Cornett will be punting from his 15-yard line. The punt is high and driving. Toby Willis looks at it at the 40-yard line, comes back on it, misplayed it. In pursuit, boom! Once again, and down he goes at the 35-yard line, and the Dragons will take it from that point.
Looked like David Warrington and Joey Anderson in on the play there. It was definitely David Warrington. Another player hustling down there for the Cats was number 62, Milton Henderson. And like we said, Clinton will take over right about the 35-yard line. Pretty good field position with 10:30 remaining.
Oak Ridge leads it by a score of 14-0. If you just tuned in, 2 exciting touchdown passes from Dean Williams to Orion Cox. From the wishbone formation will come the Clinton Dragons. The line of scrimmage, the Dragon 35-yard line. Oak Ridge digs in on defense. Pitch out left side. Comes for some room, and there it goes. It's gone, baby. Fumbled out of bounds once again. It'll be second down and long.
Eric Thomas and Brian Kirk in on the stop, David, but give the credit to Greg Campbell on that play. He came on and took out the outside blocker, shut the play off, and made him turn inside. He pretty much sacrificed himself to allow Thomas and Kirk to come in and make the stop for Oak Ridge.
It'll be a loss of a yard on the play. Second down, 11 yards to go. Call it a long 11 from the 34-yard line. Once again, Clinton tries to get their offense going. They come up from the wishbone. Wallace calls the play. Once again, wide to the right side will go Toby Willis. Single coverage against him for Oak Ridge. Wallace hands off quickly up the middle for nothing. Nothing at all as Marcellus Jones along with Mike Ray do the honors for Oak Ridge.
Oak Ridge's defense is doing a lot of shifting, David, right at the line of scrimmage. I believe that's causing Wallace to change his plays a little bit, but Oak Ridge is even shifting after he's changed the play, and it's causing them some problems. Looks like Oak Ridge believes that Clinton's going to pass. They take out Ray, and Babbitt enters the ball game, and Oak Ridge drops into a regular defense.
Justin Hill enters the game for the Clinton Dragons as he goes out wide to the right side along with Willis, I believe. Backfield split behind Wallace. Third down, 10 yards to go. In motion to the right side will go Holbrook. Quick handoff goes up the middle for a nothing as Eric Thomas comes up on defense. It'll be fourth down facing Clinton, 5 yards to go. And Oak Ridge, Jim Vines has really looked impressive on defense.
Well, David, they have, and you stop a team that likes to ground it out quite a bit. You keep stopping them in succession, and after a while, they just get tired.
The Wildcats, of course, been on the road the last 2 weeks. The big game at Farragut last week. We kind of were wondering how they'd come in. And it's not really hard to get up for the Clinton Dragons, and Clinton the same getting up for Oak Ridge. It's always been an exciting football game. Oak Ridge leads this one by a score of 14-0 as Warrington will field the punt at the 20-yard line. Goes off to the right side. Clip is going to be called against Oak Ridge, and it'll be stepped off against them.
Tough play by the Cats. We got a clip back there, and that'll back them up inside their own 15-yard line. Oak Ridge a little susceptible to the penalty tonight, David, but they've earned them all.
Cecil Scarborough once again a fine punt, and really he's been saving the Dragons to this point, getting them out of the tough position as he's boomed the ball at least 35 to 40 yards each time.
He's done a good job. We see Warrington is back in there now returning the kicks for the Wildcats as Redmond let a few bounce early in the ball game down into Oak Ridge territory. You see Eric Thomas coming into the backfield now, and out goes James Witherspoon as Dean Williams comes back in after getting the instructions from Coach Young. We'll see where Thomas lines up. I would assume at tailback. They had a lot of success in the Central ball game day when they ran him from fullback and allowed him to block for James Witherspoon.
From the 11-yard line, Oak Ridge takes over on offense. First down, 10 yards to go. Dean Williams, handoff goes Thomas. Thomas across the 15-yard line, battles his way to the 20. A fine run close to first down yardage.
Some tough yardage by Thomas. Good job by the right side of the offensive line for the Wildcats. Did a good job opening the hole for him, and once he stepped through it, David, he'll attack the defensive player before that defensive player can come up on him. He usually lays the first lick.
It'll bring up second down, 1 yard to go for Oak Ridge. The ball just at the Oak Ridge 20-yard line. Alfred Jones, the big senior, goes off wide to the left side. To the right side, the speedster, David Warrington. Once again from the I formation. Williams brings him up. Long count, second down and 1 yard to go. Thomas gets the handoff. He gets first down yardage up to about the 21-yard line. It's close to first down yardage. He had the right side, but quickly the Clinton defense came in.
Well, they finally got a good mark this time. I believe it's first and 10. Clinton's doing a good job. They've settled down a little bit. I think Oak Ridge will probably try to keep the ball in the air, at least to keep Clinton honest. Most of their success has come in the air. Oak Ridge gets a little more passing going. I believe you'll see the running game start to open up. We've got Scott Lunsford in the ball game now, split to the left of the Cats, and Anderson split to the right.
7:42 to go first half. Oak Ridge 14-0 over the Dragons. Pitch out left side. Thomas got good running room. 25, turns it upfield. Boom! He's down at about the 29-yard line. So the Clinton Dragons kind of embarrassed, I believe, with that 14-0 deficit, really starting to hit on defense.
They're laying a few licks out there. Both sides are hitting pretty hard, and I don't see any let up in that. This is Oak Ridge against Clinton, and both teams, they don't have anything to say for tomorrow.
And it'll be for the Oak Ridge Wildcats. Second down and about 4 yards to go. A pickup of 6 yards on the play for the senior running back, Eric Thomas. As Lunsford comes off wide to the right side, it'll be Warrington wide to the left. Backfield split, Thomas and Campbell behind Dean Williams. In motion to the right side will come Warrington. 6:56 to go. Handoff quickly up the middle goes to Campbell. He has little, if any, yards gained on that play. It'll be third down and about 4 to go for Oak Ridge.
Key play for the Cats here. They're up 14-0, but 6:46 remaining in the ball game. They need to start getting some more field position because Clinton has kind of held them back here the last two possessions. If they have to punt here, some momentum could start shifting back to Clinton. And even though Oak Ridge has been explosive, it's 14-0. A touchdown would get Clinton right back in the game.
Alfred Jones wide to the left side. Joey Anderson wide right. Third down, 4 yards to go from the 28-yard line of Oak Ridge. Anderson in motion to the left side. Pitch out right side. Thomas. Good pursuit by the Clinton defense. He's battling to the 31-yard line. He's going to be short. But once again, a nice pursuing Clinton Dragon defense has forced the Wildcats to punt. As Jim Cornett will come strolling onto the field for his second punt of this half, and dropping back deep to receive the kick will go Willis.
Well, it's pretty good kick returner as well as receiver, David. We saw him in the Doyle ball game make a couple of excellent catches. He makes some good adjustments on the ball after it's in the air, and for a high school kid, that's pretty impressive.
Cornett will be punting from about the 20-yard line. Willis is standing back at the 30. Little, if any, problems. A booming, driving kick by Cornett. It'll take a great bounce all the way back down to the 15-yard line, and it'll be spotted down to 14. An excellent kick by the senior kicker, Jim Cornett.
And he's congratulated by quite a few of the Wildcats down there. He really got his foot into this one. I always remember kickers in the past that played for Oak Ridge always got fired up for the big ball games, the Clinton games, and the Farragut games. Just seems to bring out the best in most of these young men. A
55-yard punt for Jim Cornett as Clinton once again will try to get their offense going.
They've got one about 45 yards in the air. Excellent kick, excellent.
5:48 to go first half, 14-0 our score, Oak Ridge on top. From the wishbone formation, Oak Ridge riding a five-game winning streak. Up to the line of scrimmage, wishbone formation. Wallace, pitch out, reverse on the right side. Willis has the ball, looks to pass, will not be able to do it. He'll try to turn the corner. Cox has him. He drags him down to the 24-yard line. That time, Orion Cox in the right position.
Well, I believe they saw the play coming all along, and they didn't try to disguise it very well. Willis was split out wide to the right. He came in motion and then came behind the quarterback to the strong side of the field. Most of Oak Ridge's defense was already over there waiting on him. It was good coverage on the right side by Gary Johnson and Redmond over there. That's who the intended pass was going towards that area, and they had the guy all the way, David.
Pickup of 3 yards on the play for Willis, so it'll be second down, 7 yards to go from the 18-yard line. Handoff quickly up the middle, good running room. First down yardage and more. 35-40, dragged down the 43-yard line, finally by Gary Johnson and Greg Campbell. That time carrying the football was, I believe,
it's either Hudson or Holbrook.
A fine run, and it'll be first and 10 for the Clinton Dragons at the 41-yard line.
Just really can't see those numbers, David. The white with the orange numerals is hard to pick up because we're pretty far up here in the press box. They're outlined in black, and that tends to hurt the vision a little bit as far as picking it up.
First and 10 for the Dragons from the 41-yard line of Clinton. Wallace quickly hands off right side, nothing.
Orion Cox.
Nice tackle by Orion Cox, and with 4:32 to go, it'll be second down and 10 yards to go for Clinton.
I think the defense is a little frustrated on that last run. We'll see if they can get right here and stop them. What was it? Second down, 10 yards to go for the Dragons. Didn't have a gain at all on that play. We see once again, it looks like, it really just can't, it looks like Jerry Cox, number 82, has just come in for Toby Willis.
And once again, the Dragons will come up from the wishbone formation. Second down, 10 yards to go, the ball at the 41-yard line. 4:10 to go, first half, 14-0 Oak Ridge. Wallace throws the ball away. It's fumbled. He'll have to fall all the way back on it at the 28-yard line. And really, Jim Vine, you explain it.
Well, basically, I think he tried to run with it from the snap before he had it, and then he tried to pull it up to him. It just flew out of his hands. I believe it was going to be a pitch to the right. It just never developed. It's a tough break for Clinton.
Lee Walter comes out of the contest for Oak Ridge, as does Mike Ray. The passing defense in for Oak Ridge. It'll be third down, an extremely long situation facing Clinton, 23 yards to go. 3:42 to go in the first half. A silent Dragon fans across the way. They come up with a backfield split. 2 receivers to the right side, wide, 1 to the left. Wallace, long count. In motion will come Hill off to the left side. Movement on the left side of the Oak Ridge line. Might have been drawn off by the Clinton offense. Oak Ridge signaling to that effect, but we'll have to see what the referees decide. It will indeed be a false start against the Clinton Dragons, and that's a tough break.
It is. It's mental mistakes that any coach worries about. So far tonight, Oak Ridge has had a few of their own, but basically Clinton's just having a run of bad luck here. They don't want to try and pick up all the first down right here. They don't want to throw the ball 30 yards. It looks like it's at least 30 for a first down or close to it. Want to try and find something in the middle of the field that might open up. You go for it all here, it's a good chance to have it picked off and run back.
The line of scrimmage is now the Clinton 24-yard line. It'll be third down, 29 yards to go for a first. Backfield split once again behind Wallace. Once again in motion to the left side will come Justin Hill. Dropping back straight to pass. It's going to be a screen pass off to Holbrook. He's got it at the 20. Tries to turn upfield. He's going to be caught once again by a pursuing Oak Ridge defense led by none other than Mr. Marcellus Jones.
Les Jones, number 64, was also in there for the Cats. Oak Ridge is not allowing Clinton to work any of their gadget plays very well at all. That time they ran to the right a little bit and came came back with a screen to the weak side of the field. Oak Ridge is just there. They're all over the field tonight on defense.
So Cecil Scarborough will once again come into the game to punt for the Clinton Dragons. They have his 4th and 29 to go. He's standing back at his own 5-yard line to punt the ball. Warrington back to receive the kick for Oak Ridge. Very poor punt this time by Scarborough. It comes off to the right side, and Oak Ridge will have beautiful field position at the 40-yard line of Clinton. And Oak Ridge will take over on offense, and we'll get to that in 30 seconds. David Clary, Jim Vines, Andy Hickey, Peter Simons, and Mike Laurendine here on Tennessee Cablevision Channel 7. 2:22 to go in the first half. Oak Ridge up 14-0. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Williams is going to be sacked behind the line of scrimmage back to the 48-yard line. It'll be 2nd down facing. It'll be for Oak Ridge as you missed the first down play. A sack on the ensuing play by the Clinton defense. A loss on the play of about 5 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 15 yards to go back at the 45-yard line.
It looked like, David, they were just trying a little pop pass, and when Dean raised up to throw the ball, the receiver was already headed down the field, so he had to eat the ball. Looked like it was designed to be gotten rid of early, and the receiver just wasn't ready for it.
It'll be Oak Ridge's Williams from the 16. He wants to hand it off, and if he does, it's going to be hit at the line of scrimmage. Flags are down on the play once again. Clock is stopped with the clock is not stopped. It is now stopped with 1:37 to go. 2nd down, the situation. We'll have to see the referees talking things over with Clinton, and it will be a holding call against the Wildcats. So Oak Ridge, which started this drive in great position at the 40-yard line, has been forced back on the first play on a 5-yard sack, and now they're going to be stepped off a little bit farther, I believe. Clinton talking things over with the referees. The line of scrimmage is back to the 50-yard line, so it would be a 3rd down and 20-yard situation if Clinton elects to take the penalty, and they will not take the penalty, so it'll be Oak Ridge taking their offense to the 50-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 20 yards to go. Play in from the sideline. Oak Ridge up to the line of scrimmage. Lunsford off to the left side. Off to the right side will go Anderson. Backfield split. Campbell and Witherspoon, I believe. Dean Williams at quarterback. 1:26 to go. He'll pass. Little screen pass off to the right side of Witherspoon. Tries to get some running room. This time, as before, the Clinton Dragons saw the play coming, and they did well to defense it.
Oak Ridge is getting away from their offense a little bit. They don't throw a lot of screens or a lot of misdirection as far as passing goes. They've had a little more success throwing down the field. I'm surprised that they have not tested any of the deep men for the Dragons. As you see, Clinton's going to take a timeout. We're going to take a timeout ourselves. Reminding you the score with 1:10 remaining at Blankenship Field. The Oak Ridge Wildcats on top here at Blankenship Field, 14-0.
For you people on the cable, one of the Boosters Club's members handed me a little announcement. The Wildcat Boosters bus will travel to Kingsport next Friday night. The sign-up sheet will be at Jackson Square Pharmacy on Monday. It says, ride the non-profit Boosters bus and relax. Snooze on the way back home. And, you know, Jim Vines, that looks to be another exciting game. We hope that if the fans that don't make the trip, they can tune in here on the cable, and that should be an exciting game.
It's going to be a good one. I think that Kingsport's always going to be tough, and this year isn't going to be any exception. They don't have as good a record and aren't state ranked like Oak Ridge, but Kingsport's just always a solid program up there in just about any sport they compete in.
Once again, this is David Clary, Jim Vines, Andy Hickey, Peter Simons, and Mike Laurendine on Tennessee Cablevision Channel 7. John Hope on camera. We'd like to thank him. Another fine job, as he always does the last couple of years, as it'll be Oak Ridge punting the ball once again. Oak Ridge punts the ball away. It's fumbled by Willis, and Oak Ridge will recover it at the 6-yard line. A beautiful defensive play. Willis looked up into the lights, possibly fumbled the ball, and Oak Ridge with it 1st and goal.
Got to give a little credit to Jim Cornett on that ball. He hung it up there a mile, David. He kicked that ball a good 45 yards in the air, and Willis just still doesn't have respect for Cornett's leg. He had to go over his shoulder a little bit, and he had already signaled for a fair catch. Once he dropped the ball, there were Wildcats all over the place.
Joey Anderson, I believe, recovering the fumble for Oak Ridge. So it'll be 1st down, goal to go for the Wildcats at the 7-yard line. Already leading by a score of 14-0. 55 seconds showing on the clock here in the first half.
Cox is back in there, David.
Pitch out right side. Thomas, 10, looks to the 5, 4, 3, touchdown, Oak Ridge. Eric Thomas rambles 7 yards, and the Wildcats lead it by a score of 22-0.
Excellent job by the Wildcats. They didn't waste any time. They put Thomas and Cox back in the ballgame. Cox playing it right in, Thomas in the deep part of the I formation. Cox laid the block down. Thomas started to sweep right, cut back up the middle of the defense, escorted by 2 or 3 Wildcats into the end zone.
And Dean Williams will once again hold for Eric Thomas. 46 seconds showing on the clock. The ball is down. The kick is on his way. It's going to be good. So it's time on the field. Our score once again. 46 seconds to go in the first half of this football game. Oak Ridge 21, Clinton nothing. And we'll be back in 60 seconds. David Clary and Jim Mines back here at Blankenship Field. We have 46 seconds to go in the first half of play. Oak Ridge leads it by a score of 21-0. The kickoff by Eric Thomas went into the end zone, so Clinton will have the ball first down, 10 yards to go at their own 20.
Right now for Clinton, I think what they want to do, of course, is hold on to the ball and not get another turnover. 46 seconds to go. I just run a few plays and try to get their heads together at halftime.
Wallace will send to the right side, Holbrook wide. They come up from the wishbone. 46 seconds to go from the 20. He'll pass. Or, excuse me, I guess he did hand off, and it will go nowhere as the man is caught behind the line of scrimmage back at the 20. A nice tackle there by Eric Thomas.
For the Cats right now, they want to play a little prevent. They don't want to get too concerned with dropping too far back, leave too many men back there, and just run a man underneath it, and a guy like Willis could catch it and score. They're going to play a little soft, though. I think the linebackers will be playing run first. We see Daniel Carter in there now. He'll be in at basically a linebacker cornerback type, and Les Jones and Thomas in there at linebackers as well.
Wildcats have 3 men on the line, and with 10 seconds to go, it'll be once again Wallace wanting to pass. He's got a man open. It's going to be Holbrook. Johnson nearly intercepts and will not be able to intercept the ball as the first half has come to a close. As the Oak Ridge fans thought Johnson made the reception, he was knocked out of bounds. But anyway, Jim Vines, the first half, a nice first half of play for Oak Ridge offense.
It sure was. They opened it up a little bit, David. They came out doing a real good job. As you can hear from the stands, the crowd, which has been kind of subdued throughout this season, has woke up a little bit and are showing their appreciation to the Wildcat team. The offense opened up a little bit. Much like the Central game, they came out throwing. And David, it's early in the season, and I know these kids are high school, and it's hard to compare decades from one from another. But as far as the multitude of passing offense that Oak Ridge has, as far as how many receivers they have, this is maybe the most overall talented group of receivers I've seen here at Blankenship Field.
I would have to agree with you, Jim Vines. A little recap of the scoring. Oak Ridge quickly in the first quarter got on the board with 8:41 to go on a 65-yard touchdown pass to Orion Cox.
All you can say is they lined up Cox to the weak side of the field. Dean Williams rolled out to his right, hit him about 10 yards down the field, and the 2 safety men just couldn't close the gap fast enough. I don't think they realized how fast Orion Cox was.
And then with 2 minutes and 38 seconds to go in the first quarter, 47-yard pass to Orion Cox from Williams.
Well, David, we saw it coming on earlier, right before the pass was made. I told you that they were in the same defense as they were before, and all they had to do was get the ball back to Cox, and they did it, and it was 6 more points.
And then just seconds ago, with 46 seconds showing on the clock, Eric Thomas carried the ball 7 yards after a fumbled punt return try by Toby Willis.
Willis did all he could do to get the ball under control. He signaled for a fair catch, but Cornett kicked it 45 yards in the air, and it just hung up there real well. He finally had to go over his shoulder to make the catch. It was inside the 10-yard line. Sometimes you'll just let those balls roll, and maybe it'll go on into the end zone, but tough break for Clinton. Oak Ridge leads at halftime 21-0.
So, as the Clinton fans prepare their halftime show, we'll break here for a 60-second announcement. Here at Blankenship Field, 21-0 our score. Clinton is out on the field, and they will be kicking off to Oak Ridge. It was an exciting first half of play offensively for Oak Ridge, especially the passing of Dean Williams to Orion Cox. We'll have to see. It's a Clinton-Oak Ridge game. It's 21-0, but really that doesn't mean too much.
It doesn't. Oak Ridge still hasn't sustained a drive, and Clinton is still basically getting over the jitters. I look for them to settle down, but really Oak Ridge's defense looks a little too tough tonight, David. They've been able to rest Eric Thomas quite a bit. They've been able to rest Orion Cox. They're substituting linebackers and safety men. They're not having to play as hard and as many minutes on both sides as they did against, say, Farragut, Halls, or Jefferson County. It looks like Oak Ridge is going to receive the kick, and Warrington's back deep. We know anything can happen when he gets it.
So Clinton will be kicking off, and here it goes. It's going to be a line drive kick coming off to the right side to Warrington. He's got it at the 10, to the 15, down the sideline, 20. Cuts it up 25, still on his feet, 30, 35. Still driving down to the 36-yard line. A fine return in a lot of traffic for David Warrington.
David, he even runs fast in traffic there. He really has quick acceleration. He was hit by 2 or 3 Clinton players. Looked like one got him a little late, but Warrington looks okay. Excellent job, excellent return. Anytime you can get him the ball, you can make something happen.
So back out on the field will come the Oak Ridge offense to the first series of plays in the second half. Joey Anderson will go wide to the left side. Alfred Jones wide to the right. Backfield split. Campbell and Thomas behind quarterback Dean Williams. Handoff goes Thomas. Thomas gets very little running room, maybe a yard on the play. It'll bring up second down, 9 yards to go.
A little surprised to see him starting out with Eric Thomas in the running back position. I would expect to maybe see him to come in at blocking back. They want to give him a chance to run the ball or two. As we see Eric Babbitt coming in now for Joey Anderson, as he'll be seeing some of his first action as a split end.
Wide to the left side will go Alfred Jones along with Babbitt. Cox lines up at the tight end on the right side from the I formation once again. Second down, 10 yards to go. In motion will come Babbitt off to the right side. Long count. Dean Williams wants to take the ball himself. Now pitches it out to Thomas. Tries to turn the corner, does. 40 up to the 41-yard line. Pushed out of bounds by the Dragons.
Nice play by the Clinton defense. They kind of slow played the quarterback there and didn't allow Dean to option the end. The end just kind of hung around the line of scrimmage, never did make an attempt to move toward Dean Williams. He waited till the last minute, didn't really give Thomas much to work with, but he did a good job, picked up 3 or 4. It'll be 3rd and 6 for the Oak Ridge Wildcats.
11 minutes to go here in the third quarter of play. Oak Ridge 21-0 over the Dragons. Wide to the right side, they'll send Lunsford. Once again, the I formation, the line of scrimmage, the Oak Ridge 40. Dean Williams, the senior quarterback with 120-some-odd yards in the first half, wants to turn the ball upfield. 45, turns it up 50, inside Clinton territory, all the way down to the Dragon 45-yard line.
That's the part that's been missing from the Oak Ridge offense, the threat of the quarterback to run. That time Dean looked like he wanted to pitch it twice. Finally, everybody was taking Thomas, and he just went ahead and took it himself. Excellent job by the quarterback. David, he's maturing each ball game.
And it'll be for Oak Ridge, first down, 10 yards to go from the Clinton 46-yard line as Lunsford and Warrington drift out wide to the left side. Once again, the backfield, Thomas and Campbell. From the 41, Williams wants to pass, looks down the right side. It's going to be incomplete. It was intended for Scott Lunsford, nearly intercepted by Clinton.
Now, the ball looked like it was tipped right at the line of scrimmage, and Dean definitely took a shot in his passing arm. He's trying to shake it off right now. Lunsford was open there temporarily, but by the time the ball got there, he was covered. It was a nice lick by the Clinton defender. Dean just had it tipped at the line of scrimmage that time.
Warrington comes out of the line of scrimmage, out of the game once again as Anderson comes back in. It'll be Anderson and Jones wide to the left side. Backfield remains split. Second down, 10 yards to go from the 46-yard line of Clinton. Williams, long pass intended for Orion Cox, incomplete. And that time, it was kind of a little timing pattern. He was about to get hit, just laid it up for Cox.
I believe Dean may have threw it over the wrong shoulder area. He expected Cox to turn in or out one way or the other. Sometimes that's an adjustment made on the pattern. I don't think that's the case there. It was just Dean laid it up a little too high, and I think Cox was expecting a little more of a bullet pass.
21-0 our score. Oak Ridge on top here in the third quarter from Blankenship Field. Once again, Alfred Jones splits out wide to the left side, Warrington wide right. Williams rolls to the left side, looks for somebody to come free. He's got Jones on the right side. He goes up for the pass. It's going to be incomplete. At the 15-yard line, he had it momentarily, and as he fell to the ground, it was knocked loose. So it'll be fourth down facing Oak Ridge, and once again will come Cornett.
Nice job by the offensive line for the Wildcats as Dean rolled out to his left, had all day to throw the ball, and Dean put a little bit extra on that ball. Jones positioned himself well, but he did have to go fairly high to catch that one. I believe he had it, and when he tried to come down, he just lost control. It's key for Oak Ridge right here, David. They don't want to kick it into the end zone. They want to kick it as close as they can without. Look to see if Cornett angles it to one sideline or another.
Willis is back to receive the kick, and the punt is away. It's a high kick. Willis will field it at the 15-yard line, and it will be knocked down at about the 16 after a 3-yard return. So it'll be the Dragons taking over. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the 17-yard line.
Good punt by Jimmy Cornett. It's going to hurt his average a little bit, but he got it inside the 20-yard line. If he'd have kicked it any deeper, I think Willis would have let it roll into the end zone. So that time he did an excellent job of not putting everything into it, and it's got Clinton backed up inside their own 20.
Up to the line of scrimmage will come the Dragons. Wishbone formation once again. 10 minutes to go in the third quarter of the play. In motion comes off to the left side, lines up it as the tight end does Watson. Handoff goes right side for good running room across the 20-yard line up to the 23, where Mike Ray and Brian Kirk make the tackle. It'll be for the Clinton Dragons a pickup of about 3.5 yards, so to bring up second down and a long 6 to go for a first. 9:53 to go. Of course, the Wildcats coached by Bill Young, assisted by Bruce Lucier, Jim Woofter, and Barry Saunders, Thompson, and Voskamp. And up to the line of scrimmage will come the Clinton Dragons, the 21-yard line. In motion once again will go Holbrook off to the right side. 9:32 to go. Handoff is fumbled by Wallace. He regains himself, goes back, and he's going to be hit at the 10-yard line quite brutally by Oak Ridge. And that time Wallace, as the ball was fumbled, had nothing to do with it, looked for a play but couldn't find one open and had to eat the ball.
They had all day to throw there, and as he dropped the ball and he picked it up, there still wasn't an Oak Ridger within 5 or 6 yards of him. By the time he did try to find a receiver, Orion Cox was first on the scene. Wallace sidestepped him, but then 75 Kevin Hartley came up, and it's put Clinton in a deep hole here. It looks like third and long on about the 16, what was that? No, that's the 11-yard.
11-yard line. It'll be third down, 18 yards to go. Once again, Wishbone for the Dragons. 8:52 to go. Fumble is going to be once again. This time Clinton will recover it at the 10-yard line. So Clinton has had all kinds of trouble getting their offense rolling against Oak Ridge. The defense has really been good for Oak Ridge. The Clinton fans across the way, and they are quite numerous, have just been sitting there the entire evening. The longest run, I believe, or any play for them offensively has only been about 16 yards.
That was one quick opener up the middle, and that's been really it for them. After that, Oak Ridge shut them down immediately after that. This will be a chance to let us see Warrington return the ball here, I think.
Scarborough punting from his own end zone. High spiraling kick. It's going to take a bounce at the 40-yard line. It'll take a good Clinton bounce and go out of bounds at about the Oak Ridge 49-yard line, and that's where they'll have it. First and 10, as with 8:12 to go, Oak Ridge leads it by a score of 21-0. Once again, I'd like to remind everybody that next week the Wildcats will be traveling to Kingsport, Tennessee to play the Dobbins-Bennett Indians. The Wildcats Boosters Club will sponsor a bus to Kingsport next Friday. The sign-up sheets will be at Jackson Square Pharmacy on Monday. Ride the non-profit Boosters bus and relax. You can snooze on the way back. It should be an exciting game. First and 10 for Oak Ridge from the 49-yard line. Williams wants to pass, in trouble, looks down the field, across the way, complete to Cox. He's on his feet once again, 30, 25, 10, 15, he's going all the way again. Touchdown, Orion Cox. That time, Jim Vines, more traffic, but he still went in.
A lot of individual effort that time by Cox. Give Dean Williams a little credit there. He had some pressure from the outside. He stepped up in the pocket a little bit. Excellent pass, excellent catch, excellent run. 6 points, Oak Ridge Wildcats.
8 minutes, 4 seconds to go in the third quarter, and Jim Vines, to be honest, I didn't expect this kind of a game.
Clinton's just not into their ball game here. They're fired up, but sometimes you can get a little over-fired up, and you make a few critical mistakes when you're playing an explosive team like Oak Ridge. A mistake of a half a yard could turn around for 6 points.
The ball is down, the kick is on its way, good, and Oak Ridge leads it by a score of 28-0. And Jim Vines, I'm going to hold it here right now. We talked to Coach Young earlier, and you know, Oak Ridge in their first 5 ball games has been playing close games and have really not been able to run up a score and get some more players as much as they would like into the game. And tonight looks like it might be, I'm going to say might, because I've seen a lot of Clinton Oak Ridge games, might be a good opportunity to see a lot of players.
As you know, Coach Young, his pat answer for that is he'll just do what they dictate. I'm sure if Clinton leaves in their starting group, Oak Ridge is going to leave most of theirs in there. I don't think you'll see Thomas come out much on defense till late in the ball game, if any at all. Some of the key players are going to stay in there, but you're right, David. It's a good chance for some players to get some quality experience against a good ball club. I believe Clinton just came in a little too high, and maybe it's cost them here.
Barry Lamb back to receive the kick for the Clinton Dragons. Kick by Thomas is driving. It goes into the end zone, but we'll have to see exactly what the problem is. Flags are down at the line of scrimmage. That would appear that Oak Ridge is offside, so it'll be a 5-yard step off. Once again, let me recap the scoring as has taken place so far. In the first quarter, Oak Ridge got on the board with 8:41 to go on a 65-yard touchdown pass to Orion Cox. With 2:38 to go, a 47-yard touchdown pass to Orion Cox. Eric Thomas added both PATs, and Oak Ridge led 14-0. With 46 seconds to go in the first half of play, a drop punt return by Toby Willis for the Clinton Dragons was recovered by Oak Ridge, is Joey Anderson, and one play later, Eric Thomas went 7 yards for the Oak Ridge's third touchdown. He added the point after himself. With 8:04 to go in the third quarter, just moments ago, a 51-yard touchdown pass to Orion Cox, his third of the ball game, and the third for Orion Cox, or fifth for the Orion Cox this season, I believe, as Thomas kicks it off once again, driving all the way to the end zone. He even stepped back 5 yards, and he still put it in the end zone.
A few of the Clinton players are trying to rough up some of the Oak Ridge guys, and I believe Thomas has suffered a little bit of a twisted ankle as two men really took it to Eric that time. I don't know why he was doing that. The kid kicked it in the end zone. I don't see why they had to hit him like that.
Clinton will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Once again, Jim Vines, Dean Williams, a fine passing night already with 177 yards.
He's matured and gotten better every game. I'm more impressed with his decisions on the option. That's what's going to be the difference for Oak Ridge. It's going to be how they handle the option series when they get towards the later part of their season and into the playoffs.
The first down play was fumbled at the line of scrimmage by Clinton, and an offside penalty is going to be stepped off against Clinton. So really, Jim Vines, Clinton is having all kinds of problems.
They are, and the coaches are shuttling in as many players back and forth as they can. And I see Willis and it looks like Holbrook both coming out of the game, so we've got two new faces in the offensive scheme of things for the Clinton Dragons tonight.
And it'll be first down, 15 yards to go for the Clinton Dragons. This time they'll come up from the shotgun formation. 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. The snap is high. It's going to be a long pass downfield. Good pass, complete at the 30-yard line to the 35-40, and finally brought down at the 40 by Gary Johnson, I believe, but not after a fine pickup for Clinton.
It sure was, David, and I'm interested to see why they didn't try something like that earlier in the ballgame. We thought that they were going to pass more on Oak Ridge coming into the game, as Cecil Scarborough, the backup quarterback, has now come in, and he'll be running things as Clinton looks like they're going to stay with a shotgun.
And it'll be the Dragons first and 10 from the 40-yard line. 7:40 to go. The snap is high once again. Scarborough guns it, fires it, good. At the 45-yard line, and he's got a rocket arm.
He does, David. We didn't see much of him. All he did was punt when we covered the Doyle game here on WATO. But this is a good test for the Wildcats. They're down right now as far as Clinton's moving the ball on them a little bit. They're doing it through the air. It's a chance to season up that defensive secondary, and I'm sure some other schools on Oak Ridge's future schedule are going to be looking at these films quite closely.
Pick up on the play of 6 yards. It'll be second down, 4 yards to go from the 45-yard line. Once again, Scarborough at quarterback wishbone formation. Quick handoff goes up the middle, and this time the running game is caught like it's been most of the night, and it's maybe a yard gain on the play, but not more than that. It'll be third down facing the Clinton Dragons.
David, do you have any idea? We didn't see much passing from them early in the ball game. I don't know. They got away from it, just went strictly to the run.
That's exactly the way they'd like to try it. Their game plan is to run the ball and grind it out. So I guess what's gotten them this far, they want to continue. They're just trying to get something going, and their passing game has worked for them, and they're lining up once again with Scarborough back there to pass. Snap is high. Their 2 snaps have not been good. Nearly caught by Oak Ridge is a spinning Willis as he goes inside Oak Ridge 45-yard line. The reason I hesitated during that play as Willis was getting pounded and all the way down the field, and he is shaken up at the 45-yard line, but Clinton has the ball inside Oak Ridge territory at the 46-yard line.
Good pass and a good execution by Toby Willis. I believe he's got a case of the cramps himself. They're opening things up a little bit, and it's shaking Oak Ridge's defense up just a little bit. Like we mentioned, it's a good chance for Oak Ridge to get some experience against the passing team. They're going to see one sooner or later.
Once again, Cecil Scarborough will drop back, and he fires another rocket, and a beautiful tackle by Oak Ridge. A really crunching blow, but Clinton is really moving the ball downfield. They have the ball inside the 40, down to the 34-yard line of Oak Ridge, and I believe Oak Ridge wants to call a timeout. They have yet to signal, and it'll be Clinton with the ball first and 10 from the 35-yard line.
Clinton's starting to show some offensive spunk here. What they're doing, David, they're splitting out 3 men, and Oak Ridge, now they're in pass defense coverage. Before, Oak Ridge wasn't doing much pass defense.
And once again, Oak Ridge that time played the run beautifully. It's going to be a loss in the play of about a yard for the Clinton Dragons. It'll be second down and 11 yards to go for the Clinton Dragons.
if Oak Ridge can get their pass defensive unit in there and drop one linebacker or one down lineman back, they'll still be able to defend against the run. Now they're spreading out into pass coverage. We'll see how they handle it now.
From the 34-yard line, once again, Scarborough goes back for a pass. This time it's going to be intercepted by Oak Ridge. Picked off by Bennett.
Got a wall.
25 to the 30. Turns it back up to the 35-yard line. And that time Clinton went to the well once too many. And Eric Babbitt intercepts it and runs it back to the 35-yard line.
David, they got back there in pass defense where they could do something. Earlier in the drive, Clinton had success. Oak Ridge only had 2 cornerbacks and 2 safeties, with the linebackers taking short drops. There were some dead areas about 10 or 15 yards down the middle of the field. Give credit to Scarborough, though. He did an excellent job of passing the ball. Once Oak Ridge dropped into deep pass formation, he just threw too deep into the coverage.
Up to the line of scrimmage as Oak Ridge will come back out on offense. Will come the Wildcats. Dean Williams brings him up from the 35-yard line. I formation, 5:44 to go, third quarter. Williams wants to turn the ball upfield. He'll do it up to the 40-yard line, up to the 41-yard line. And like you said earlier, that's what Oak Ridge needs in their offense.
That's the missing key to the running attack, is the ability for Dean Williams to option it in. What a lot of teams are doing now with that quarterback running the ball is they're just leaving the end alone, and they're letting him just come across the line and wait for somebody to hit. That time, however, got a good block on the defensive end, and Dean was able to option himself and just carry it on up forward and pick up about 6 yards.
Eric Babbitt wide to the right side. Once again from the wishbone formation, Oak Ridge will not come as Witherspoon gets the wall on the right side. 40 turns it up to the 45-yard line. The backfield was split as it'll be close to first down yardage. It'll be, we'll see exactly where they're spotted. They'll spot it down at the 46-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10, Oak Ridge.
About the first good spot Oak Ridge has gotten tonight. As give credit to Witherspoon, he didn't have a lot of hole there, but he's got a lot of speed, and he just tried to get to the corner, and that's where he picked up his yardage. Clinton had him contained pretty well, but he picked up all the yardage on his own.
Dean Williams has a total of 177 yards tonight in passing, but for the season, Jim Vines, he has 760. See, he's well on his way to 1,000 yards passing.
He is, and he's not really attempting that many passes. I think the most we've seen him throw is about 18 or 19 passes in a contest. So far tonight, he's thrown the ball after 5 or 6 times, maybe 7, and he's well on pushing 200, if not over 200 tonight.
And he brings the Wildcats back up to the line of scrimmage. They come from the 46-yard line of Oak Ridge, backfield split. 1st and 10, clock running, 4:43 to go. Williams, handoff right side, Witherspoon across to Clinton territory down to the 47-yard line. This time Oak Ridge has elected to get their offensive running game going. As into the game for Oak Ridge will come a new player, and that'll be Drew Parrott.
Drew Parrott's in there along with Eric Babbitt, now number 24, coming into the ball game. As we see James Witherspoon and Thomas on the bench here. Another player getting ready to come in for the Cats. He'll be on the next play.
As it'll be Babbitt going wide to the left side, wide to the right side, Alfred Jones. I formation for Oak Ridge. 2nd down, 2. Handoff goes to Parrott. He gets up close to the 45-yard line. Pickup of about 1 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and long. As into the game now for Oak Ridge will come John Young along with Scott Lunsford. Out will come Jones, and for Oak Ridge, Doug Underwood. So it'll be 3rd down, 1 yard to go for the Wildcats. As once again, they
David Cornett's just went into the ball game now, number 16. He's lining up split wide to the right. Now, he threw the ball earlier in a ball game against Jefferson County on a reverse. They may be coming back with that now.
As in motion will go, Cornett off to the left side. 3rd down, 1 yard to go. Handoff goes, Parrott breaks open 40. Inside the 40, down to the 36-yard line. So Oak Ridge has it 1st and 10.
Oak Ridge is opening up some holes. That offensive line is still intact. Drew Parrott is a good straight-ahead runner for the Cats. He's got a little bit of quickness when he gets to the outside. Basically, he's just a power runner, and he hit the hole hard and took 2 or 3 players with him.
Oak Ridge, 1st down, 10 yards to go from the 36-yard line. Up they come from the I formation. Williams still in at quarterback. 3:20 to go, 3rd quarter. Long count by the senior quarterback. Once again, he'll hand off to Parrott. He gets inside the 35, down to about the 33-yard line. Nice hole on the left side for him to run through.
That's some good blocking by his new fullback companion back there. Number 44, Greg Berner, is now entered the contest. As we see Jimmy Cornett coming back in now, giving the play to Dean Williams.
Kevin Campbell also in the contest for Oak Ridge. He'll be a wide out, and he comes off wide to the right side. Cornett off to the left. Once again, Oak Ridge comes up, I formation. 2nd down, 7 yards to go. 28-0 our score, Oak Ridge on top. Williams, pitch out Parrott, has the ball on the left side. Nearly fumbles it, had trouble getting the pitch and manages to maintain control of the ball, but he'll lose 2 on the play.
Pitch came to him a little quick. I think he just hasn't worked a lot with the first string. And a lot of times when you've got a starting quarterback in there and you have some second or third on the depth chart in there at running backs, their timing in this crisp as if he was taking the pitches from Guthrie or Gary Johnson.
It'll be Campbell off to the left side, wide, Babbitt to the right. Backfield split behind Williams. 3rd down, long situation, 8 to go. Williams will pass across the way. It's complete to Babbitt. Babbitt inside the 35, down to the 22-yard line. It'll be enough for another Oak Ridge first down.
Dean Williams is looking sharp tonight, David Clary. That time, Babbitt just did a little down and in, a little quick in. Really, the way Clinton's defense is, there's no way they can stop that if they come up too fast. Babbitt will just take on straight down the field, and they've got 6. If he plays soft, you get a first down like we just saw right there.
It's really been a long night for the Clinton fans across the way, and some of them have already elected to depart the field as Cornett comes in motion off to the left side. 1st and 10. Williams handoff goes up the middle. Carrying the football once again was Drew Parrott. He comes close to the 20-yard line. He'll be pushed back at about the 21. That'll be for Oak Ridge. 2nd down and 9 yards to go. As into the game will come Keith Guthrie replacing Dean Williams. And he gets a nice round of applause from the Oak Ridge fans, a standing ovation here from Blankenship Field. He has built a 28-0 lead over Clinton with 1:34 to go in the 3rd quarter.
And anybody that doesn't know about Mr. Guthrie, he can fire that ball too. I wouldn't be surprised to see him throw a few before the night's over.
Guthrie hands it off once again to Parrott as Greg Verner is also in the contest. He gets very little. He's actually going to lose a couple of yards. It'll be 3rd down, and we'll call it 10 yards to go for a first as Alfred Jones and Eric Babbitt come out of the contest. You know, Jim Vines, I said moments ago, it'd be a good opportunity for Coach Young to get a number of players into the game, but it's not very fun to us people up in the booth who have to keep up with them.
We're doing the best we can. I know there's a lot of mamas out there that want to hear their kids on the air, and we're going to get as many names on here as we can, as Young's doing a good job of getting players in, but it's not hurting the drive. It's a key play right here.
3rd down and 10. Guthrie will turn the ball upfield himself, gets inside the 20, still driving to about the 16-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and about 4 yards, call it 5 yards to go for a first, as the field goal unit, I believe, will come onto the field. It'll be a long field goal attempt for Thomas, I believe, as Oak Ridge has built a 28-0 lead with 35 seconds to go. It'll be Thomas attempting a field goal of some 33 yards. He'll spot it down at the 23. Dean Williams will hold. And the ball is down. The kick is on its way. It's high enough. It's long enough. It's going to be good. So Oak Ridge, with 32 seconds to go, leads the Clinton Dragons by a score of 31-0.
Eric seems to be answering the question, Eric, who? You can't even see that banner over there now because it's filled up with a few of the Clinton hopefuls standing by the fence trying to get their team fired up and get something on the scoreboard here. Thomas has been the key for Oak Ridge offensively and defensively, more so defensively as usual. He hadn't touched the ball much on offense. He accounted for 1 score, all the extra points, and now a field goal from about 33 yards away, David. And that one had some distance on it. He might have gotten one from about 40 on that kick.
And he'll be kicking off once again for Oak Ridge, as back to receive the kick once again will go Barry Lamb. And with 32 seconds to go, really, Jim Vines, it's been a good game for Oak Ridge's offense. Clinton, on the other hand, has really had some troubles as Thomas really boots that ball. It goes back to the end zone once again, and it's going to be another touchback. One referee signal it was, and the other didn't. But it'll be Clinton taking over 1st and 10 from their own 20, and we'll be back in 60 seconds. Back at the 20-yard line. So Jim Vines, I think that was an admirable thing for Oak Ridge to do.
They didn't want to take a risk of an injury by accepting that penalty. I believe someone went after Thomas again on the kick. He'd already kicked the ball in the end zone, and that's when you can get somebody hurt trying to run a kick or a punt again, and Oak Ridge is ahead. They're not going to get any better position than this.
So Scarborough once again he lines it up and passes the ball complete to the 30-yard line, and another first down for the Clinton Dragons. So Scarborough, once he's been in the ball game, has really been passing the ball down the field.
He's been doing a good job. Oak Ridge is playing a little soft, David. That's to be expected when you're up 31-0. I look for him to get some yardage. It may make the stats a little bit deceiving, but Oak Ridge defensively has shut Clinton down. At the end of the ballgame, the stats are going to look like Clinton's got a lot passing, but they didn't do it when the game was in doubt.
Snap is a little bit high once again. Scarborough goes up for the pass. It's going to be complete once again at the 43-yard line. Actually, he was juggling it as he went out of bounds, and he comes across all the way into the Oak Ridge stands almost, Holbrook, or Willis that is, and kind of an interesting reception.
It's a nice catch by Willis. Looked like Scarborough just kind of floated the ball out there, and he ran under it. I'm real impressed with him, David. We mentioned when we covered the Doyle game that he looked like to be the stellar performer on offense. We've not heard much from Mark Hudson tonight. That was one that I expected. And Clinton has not run the inside screen that they've been so successful with earlier in the season. I haven't seen that either.
Holbrook and Hill wide to the right side. Scarborough once again will pass. Looking down the middle, it goes long with the ball. It could be intercepted. Going up for the ball. He's going to be intercepted by Oak Ridge. On a deflection, it'll be Gary Johnson pulling it down at the 30. Still on his feet, driving to the 33-yard line. Tackled at that point. Flags are down on the play. And once again, an interception made by Oak Ridge on the tip drill.
Excellent play, and I think the people watching on cable TV tomorrow will be able to tell you that the clip that they're going to call against Oak Ridge was nothing but a tremendous block. They had good position, and the referee that threw it never even had the angle to throw the ball, to throw the flag, David.
The referees are talking things over. It's going to be a penalty against Clinton and a penalty against Oak Ridge. I guess they might be offsetting, but Oak Ridge is going to get the personal foul, as the personal foul always overrides any other penalty.
Right, unless it's a double personal foul, and they just play it as it is. But that block was certainly a legal block, and this late in the ball game, I'm not sure. It's definitely not going to be a factor in the game. But it's hard on those kids when they make a good play and they get penalized for it. I think they'll see in the films there's a tremendous block by the Oak Ridge Wildcats.
And so it'll be Oak Ridge sending on everybody and their brother out on the field. A whole new team coming onto the field.
We call out a few names and numbers. You see Chris Server and Drew Parrott's also in there. Greg Werner is in there. I'm trying to catch as many numbers as I can. Derek Coffin, of course, is in there on the line for the Wildcats. Looks like
Darren Light, so they're going to move the ball back up to the 25-yard line. Oak Ridge is going to have the ball. First down, 10 yards to go from that point. 4 seconds to go, third quarter.
Jimmy Cornette's also in there at an end, and I believe they'll probably start the clock and wind this out as we see number 10.
I really kind of have to say, Jim Vines, I kind of feel sorry for the Clinton fans. Oak Ridge has won 12 straight, and they appear to be on their way to their 13th. But the Clinton Dragons, with the exception of this football game, have really had fine performances against Oak Ridge.
They have. They've won by close scores. Oak Ridge, that is. They've won by close scores the last 4 times they played. Each year Clinton comes to town, or we go visit Clinton, they say, well, this is going to be the year. And David, next year it could very well be, but this year I don't think it's going to happen.
That's the end of the third quarter of play. As we go to the fourth and final quarter, let me remind you of the score. Oak Ridge 31 and Clinton nothing. And we'll be back in 30 seconds.
You give us a with me. I think throughout the rest of this season, I'm a little worried about if I forget it. I don't think I'm going to tell anybody if I do.
And it'll be the fourth and final quarter about to get set here from Blankenship Field. Oak Ridge has the ball from the 25-yard line as Keith Guthrie in at quarterback for Oak Ridge. Guthrie hands off on the right side for some running room. Carrying the football was Greg Werner. He gets the ball up to about the 28-yard line. There'll be a pickup of 3 on the play. So it'll be second down and 7 yards to go.
Coming in the game for Oak Ridge, Scott Crisp, along with number 83, Chris Keever. Also in the ball game is Lee Burkhart, number 33. Wildcats doing a lot of substituting now as we see Greg Werner going out at fullback for the Wildcats.
Eric Wells also out of the contest for Oak Ridge. Is up to the line of scrimmage will come the Wildcats. Second down, 8 yards to go. The backfield split, 11:31 to go in the football game. 31-0 our score. Guthrie, pitch out left side. Parrott tries to turn the corner, will not be able to do it. He's snowed under at the 25-yard line. It'll be a loss of about 3 yards on the play. So it'll bring up third down, and we'll call it 10 yards to go.
Greg Werner along with Kevin Campbell now into the contest for the Wildcats as we see number 10, Keith Guthrie, in at quarterback. Also coming in, late substitution, Jimmy McMahon, number 6, brings the play in to Keith Guthrie. We saw another Guthrie here last night, the younger brother of the Oak Ridge quarterback. Clifford Guthrie led the Rams to victory last night over the Jefferson Eagles.
McMahon wide to the right side. Guthrie turns the ball upfield, gets good running room 30, up to the 32-yard line. He'll be about 5 yards short of a first. It'll be fourth down facing Oak Ridge. And once again, the punting unit will come onto the field for the Wildcats. And it'll be Clinton sending Willis back to receive the kick once again. It'll be fourth down, 5 yards to go, 10:33 to go in the football game. Oak Ridge 31, Clinton nothing. And Willis will be standing back at his own 40-yard line and punting the ball will be Cornett once again, I believe, and from the 22-yard line. So Oak Ridge has really played a fine football game. Clinton has yet to get their offense really on track, as a high booming kick by Cornett will take a good bounce down to the 33-yard line, where it's down by Brian Kirk, and it'll be Clinton taking over. First down, 10 yards to go from that point. So with 10:07 to go, we'll be back in 60 seconds.
Blowout City.
It'll be across the way complete for Clinton. They're driving the ball up to the 45-yard line. Another fine pass by Cecil Scarborough with 9:50 to go in the football game.
Still maintain, David, Oak Ridge is playing a little soft on the defense, and the passing stats are really not going to do justice. Neither is the total yardage for Clinton. Oak Ridge basically shut them down in the first half and all the way through the third quarter, most of it. Clinton's getting a little bit of gravy now, but I don't think Oak Ridge will be too happy if they get any points on the board.
It'll be first down, 10 yards to go for the Clinton Dragons at the 45-yard line. Scarborough once again will pass complete inside Oak Ridge territory at the 46-yard line. There'll be a pickup of about 7 yards on the play, and it'll be second down, 3 yards to go for Clinton.
Daniel Carter into the ballgame now for Wildcats, and you had, who was that, T.J. Parrish, I believe, also in there, the JV quarterback.
Along with Chris Groff also in the game for Oak Ridge. A lot of players getting an opportunity to play.
Kip Franklin also in there now, the linebacker for the Wildcats. We see Gary Johnson, Jamie Redmond, and Eric Babbitt in the deep secondary.
9:30 to go in the football game, 31-0 Oak Ridge. Scarborough back to pass. In comes Franklin. It's going to be a Utah pass, and it's going to be no good, as the pass was not caught. It was intended, and a good defensive play by Oak Ridge.
Good job that time. Rob Stokely came in, number 69, did a real good job for the Cats, forcing that incompletion. As we see, number 70, Don Evans, coming in the lineup for the Cats. Out for Oak Ridge is number 77, Rick Ricola.
And so it'll be for Clinton, third down, 3 yards to go. The line of scrimmage, the Oak Ridge 46-yard line. Scarborough standing back once again from the shotgun. He'll be passing. They've got two wide receivers wide to the right side, and one of them catches the ball at the 40-yard line for first down yardage. And this time it'll be pulling down the ball for the Clinton Dragons. I still can't quite see his number.
Looks like Jim Longest.
And that is the case, Jim Vines. Thank you. And it'll be the Clinton team with the ball, first down, 10 yards to go at the 41-yard line.
Jerry Story into the game for the Wildcats. Going out, I believe that was 69, Rob Stokely.
And so Scarborough will once again line up from the shotgun, first and 10 from the Oak Ridge 41-yard line. 9 minutes, 7 seconds to go. Scarborough drops back straight, going down the right side. It's going to be intercepted dropped by Gary Johnson, and right in the hands, but Jim Vines?
I was going to say, Oak Ridge dropping back in deep pass coverage. Had Daniel Carter, Drew Parrott, and Jamie Redmond all back there covering for Oak Ridge. Coming out looks like number 70, Donnie Evans, and in for the Cats, if I pick up his number, it looked like 74. Say Brent Smith into the game now for Oak Ridge.
Along with Steve Shelton, number 91. So it'll be second down, 10 yards to go from the 41-yard line. Once again, Cecil Scarborough back to pass. The snap is high, and he gets the pass away. This time it's going to be incomplete. Once again, a nice defensive. You know, Eric Babbitt's not a very big fellow, Jim Vines, but he really lays on some licks.
A lot like Greg Campbell, and he's not that big, but he hits a little bit bigger than he is. Real impressed, even though Toby Willis is not getting much credit tonight. He's played a pretty good ball game for Clinton. He seems to me to be one of the standout performers for him. He just can't get a lot of help on that offensive side. Oak Ridge is really laying their ears back. Those three down linemen are really coming hard now, as you see 6 or 7 people back in pass coverage for Oak Ridge.
Third down, 10 yards to go. In motion to the left side once again for the Clinton Dragons will go Hill. Snap is a little bit short. He's got it. Scarborough puts it up on the right side. Has a receiver there. It's going to be thrown out of bounds. It's going to be fourth down and long situation for the Clinton team at the 41-yard line of Oak Ridge. And once again, Scarborough will probably attempt another pass, or he can stand there and punt. He's a fine punter. He's demonstrated that all night. Oak Ridge getting a lot of players into the contest, into the flow of the game, and it's really been a good experience for this crowd to watch. It's been a big crowd here at Blankenship Field on both sides of the field. The Clinton fans, the Loyal, still sitting there across the way. They haven't had much to cheer about tonight. Their team trails 31-0, in danger of losing their 13th consecutive game to Oak Ridge. But Scarborough once again will pass from the 41-yard line. Fourth down, 10 yards to go. Looks down the field across the middle. The pass is going to be a little screen, nearly intercepted. And if it was going to be picked off by Oak Ridge's server, I believe.
T.J. Parrish.
T.J. Parrish, correct. He could have had daylight, but the pass was incomplete. So it'll be Oak Ridge taking over. First down, 10 yards to go at the 41-yard line. A number of new players once again coming onto the field.
Eric Wells, one of them, as we see also Keith Guthrie coming back into the ballgame after getting the play from Coach Bill Young.
Guthrie, his quarterback, is 6'1", 166 pounds. Played his junior high ball at Robertsville.
Jimmy McMahon into the ballgame now, split out wide to the right, split out to the left, Eric Wells.
8:51 to go. Guthrie with the ball hands off on the left side to, the right side, carrying the football. I'm not too sure as tempers are flaring out on the field. It'll be a pickup of 2 on the play.
I think that was Lee Burkhardt on the carry that time.
And he moved the ball up to the 43-yard line with 8:48 to go, and the clock continuing to tick down. Oak Ridge leads it by a score of 31-0 as Burkhardt comes out of the contest as Scott Crisp moves wide to the right side. Backfield split. Werner and Parrott behind Keith Guthrie from the 43-yard line. Guthrie wants to pass. On the right side, the pass is complete. At the 45, down to the 48-yard line, and the reception was made good by Crisp, but he has close to first down yardage. It'll be about 2 yards short, I believe.
Kevin Campbell and John Young into the game now for the Wildcats, and back comes Jimmy McMahon along with 33 Lee Burkhardt. They're seeing a lot of action, shuffling a lot of players. We got to see first good pass by Keith Guthrie. He's got a real strong arm, and he just basically strong-armed that ball out there, and it was good catch and run by Chris.
It'll be third down and call it 2 yards to go for a first down. The referee stopped the play momentarily to get the electric clock going, and seems to be some kind of a discussion out on the field. 8:37 to go. Oak Ridge leads it by a score of 31-0. The most dramatic player, I guess, has been in this game has been the passing combination of Dean Williams to Orion Cox, totaling 3 touchdowns and some 200 yards.
They've done a good job. They really took advantage of the Clinton defense early in the ball game, and Clinton really never shifted out of that formation, and it hurt them 2 or 3 times. We commented on the fact earlier in the ball game that Clinton was going to have to come out of that defense. They didn't. Later on in the ball game they adjusted, but by then it was about over.
Coach Young talking up to the press box up to our right, talking to Coach Woofter, and I guess they're trying to signal in new plays and such. They're having a good time. One of the fine times in the game, the Oak Ridge team on the sidelines really getting in with the band, doing some dancing on the sidelines. The Oak Ridge fans are on their feet. They are acknowledging the fact that the Oak Ridge fans are, the Oak Ridge team has really done a good thing. Eric Thomas, Orion Cox, Alfred Jones, along with James Witherspoon, doing a little dancing on the sidelines. So it'll be for Oak Ridge, third down, 2 yards to go as up to the line of scrimmage, which is the 48-yard line. Guthrie will come. He'll turn the ball upfield himself, get to the 50-yard line, which what he needs for a first down if he gets a good spot.
I think he'll get it this time, David. Guthrie has impressed me. Not only can he throw the ball hard, he also makes some pretty good decisions in running the option. That time he tucked it upfield. I think maybe about a half a step quicker than Dean Williams. He got to that hole pretty good and picked up first down yardage. Even though they're going to measure, it looked like from here he had it clearly. As we see Scott Crisp coming to the game for Oak Ridge.
They're stretching the chains. It's going to be indeed first down, 10 yards to go for Oak Ridge. The ball inside Clinton territory at the 49-yard line. 8:37 to go in the football game.
Jimmy McMahon brings the play in, replacing Crisp. He'll be split out wide to the right. Coming to the left is Eric Wells, number 35.
Up the line of scrimmage will come Guthrie. He looks over the Clinton defense. They're a tired bunch of kids. They've played a good ball game as the pass is going to be complete, I believe, at the 48-yard line. Maybe a gain of 1 on the play. The pass was caught by McMahon, and it'll be second down, 9 yards to go as coming out of the contest will come another host of players as
like Lee Burkhardt coming in along with Chris and who's that other one?
Chris Serber. And it'll be second down, 9 yards to go for Oak Ridge. The ball at the 49-yard line, 8:37 to go. 31-0 our score. Oak Ridge on top from Blankenship Field. Keith Guthrie, long count, wants to pass. Straight drop, he's going to be sacked behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of about 4 on the play. So to bring up third down and about 14 yards to go. Jim Vines, really been an entertaining game for the Oak Ridge fans. The Clinton fans are going to remember this next season.
I think they will, and I also want to point out that Oak Ridge has got several substitutes in there. Very few of the starters remain, and Coach Young's doing an incredible job here, not trying to run up the score or anything. Tonight, now this is tonight only. Next week could have been a completely different ball game. If they were meeting the playoffs, it could be a completely different game, as was the case when Oak Ridge beat Farragut several years ago and then lost in the playoffs. But I think Oak Ridgers, they could have beat them no matter what tonight. I think they could have scored about as many points as they wanted to.
Third down pass was incomplete, and it'll be Oak Ridge's punting unit once again coming onto the field as Guthrie, as he passed the ball off, was hit right at the line of scrimmage. So Oak Ridge fans once again giving their team a round of applause as once again the Dragons will send somebody, I believe Willis, back to receive the punt. And Oak Ridge having trouble getting the play set from the sideline. Cornett will be doing the punting once again. The line of scrimmage is the 47-yard line of Oak Ridge. Cornett will be punting from about his own 35. 8:37 to go. The clock is not running, is not operating anymore, so we'll not exactly know how much time is left. Is coming up will be Lamb to look at the punt, which is going to be down at the 15-yard line. He didn't take the ball. He didn't want a chance to, I guess. So it'll be Clinton taking over 1st and 10.
Another good kick by Jimmy Cornett. They've all done a tremendous job tonight, and I know Coach Young is very pleased with the offensive and defensive performance. Interesting to see here what type of defensive setup Oak Ridge has, how many of their starters they do have, especially in the defensive secondaries. We see James Witherspoon will be back there along with Redmond. Drew Parrott is also dropping back along with Eric Babbitt. Daniel Carter in the ball game, as well as T.J. Parrish. Looking around, I see Lee Burkhardt in, the linebacker, Kip Franklin in at one of the ends. Looks like 65, Jerry Story will be in as a down lineman. Oak Ridge has pretty much revamped their defense. I'm trying to catch the other end. I think it's Daniel Carter.
And so it'll be with, well, we can't tell you the time. I keep looking over that way. We don't have any idea how much time is left. Oak Ridge leads it here in the 4th quarter of play by a score of 31-0.
David Steve Shelton's also in there as a down lineman for the Wildcats.
And up to the line of scrimmage will come the Dragons, as once again Scarborough will line up. The line of scrimmage is the 15-yard line. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go from the 15. He goes back to the pass. It's going to be incomplete. Nearly intercepted by Oak Ridge.
Chris Groff that time got back there and almost picked that thing off. You see Oak Ridge is getting a little more depth from their linebackers. They're playing pretty much exclusively pass, as we see Clinton is starting to substitute for some of its starting players.
This is the first time since 1980 that the Clinton team has been shut out by Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge won that game by a score of 35-0, and Clinton has really had trouble getting their offense going. We saw them earlier against Doyle, and they went at that. Doyle's a fine football team, and they move the ball at times quite well against the Pioneers as Scarborough takes the snap and fumbles it, picks it up, and goes up to about the 21-yard line. He gets about 5 on the play.
Just been a good overall performance by Oak Ridge. Coach Young and the other coaches have done a tremendous job preparing their club for Clinton. They knew what Clinton was going to do, and they came out and defensed it. Offensively, they worked real well. You see another substitution, Brent Smith coming back into the ball game now, going out as Daniel Carter.
It'll be first down, 10 yards to go, or third down, 5 yards to go, as nothing on the clock is working. And around the right side is going to be caught at the line of scrimmage and gets about 4 yards on the play, carrying to about the 25-yard line. I just glanced up there, Jim Vines. Nothing's working. Either that or Coach Evans has decided to take a nap. I'm not too sure. He runs the clock. He's done it for a number of years. Coach Rick Evans, that is. And Jim Vines, it'll be Clinton faced with a 4th down and long situation. They're going to have to punt the ball, but it's deep into their own territory. Scarborough has the ball. Will be punting it from about his own 15-yard line. And dropping back to receive the kick, if indeed he does kick it, will be Eric Babbitt, and along with Jamie Redmond. Snap is away. The punt is high, driving spiral. It's going to be bounced and picked up by Babbitt. He comes off to the right side. He comes off to the left side, goes backwards, comes back to the 30-yard line, gets to the corner, 35, turns it back up 40, down to the 41-yard line. 435 flags on the play, and we'll have to see what the call is.
He ran about 25, 30 yards sideways. Didn't get much going up the field. Once a runner changes directions like that, flags are inevitable to be flying all over the field as they were on that play.
They also really didn't give the receiving team enough room to catch that punt that time, and we remember that at Central.
That's right. It almost looked like it hit one of the Clinton players.
And it'll be
walking below the waist, it looked like, against Oak Ridge.
And it'll be for Oak Ridge. They'll be penalized backwards, and it'll be back to about the 25-yard line. They lead in this game by a score of 31-0. David Clary, Jim Vines here from Blankenship Field, along with our statisticians Andy Hickey, Peter Simons, and Mike Laurendine. Help on the cable side, John Hope doing camera. If you happen to be listening to the broadcast on Saturday here, 31-0 our score. Oak Ridge has really dominated since the opening kickoff of this game. Clinton has really had trouble moving the ball as Guthrie strolls back onto the field at quarterback. He replaced Dean Williams, who threw for close to 200 yards and 3 more touchdowns. A fine senior campaign on the way to big numbers passing already, close to 800 yards this season. Guthrie with the ball to Perry. He pitches down the right side, turns the corner 20, 25 up to the 27-yard line, still driving for a couple of extra yardage. He's going to be knocked down at the 27. It'll be second down and 4 yards to go.
David, Drew Parrott is someone that the Cats will rely on next season and could see some more playing time as this season progresses. He's a good hard runner. He's just a junior. He'll be back next year for the Cats. See now split out, looks like Lee Burkhart split out. No, it's Scott Chris split out to one side. I can't make the other one.
Chris Keever on the right side. I formation, second down 4. Keith Guthrie from the 34-yard line, hands off on the left side. Good pursuit this time by the Clinton defense, as carrying the ball once again was Drew Parrott. He'll get a couple of yards, possibly, not much more than that, as Sam Sampson comes onto the field for Oak Ridge. And checking out will come Daniel Carter.
Jimmy McMahon back in there now, bringing the play in.
It'll be third down and about 3 yards to go for Oak Ridge. The ball at their own 28-yard line, leading 31-0 from Blankenship Field. A beautiful homecoming game for the Oak Ridge fans. Kind of a disappointing night for Clinton.
Just heard just saw the referees tell Coach Young that there were 4 minutes to go in the ball game.
So Oak Ridge lines it up from the I formation. Third down, 3 yards to go from the 28-yard line. Keith Guthrie wants to pass, rolls to the right side, eludes one man, turns the ball upfield. 25-30, 35-yard line is where he'll make it, and stumbling for a first down. A nice individual effort by the junior quarterback.
It's a good job by Guthrie. He's, like we said, he's a pretty quick quarterback, and he's big and tall, and he's got a good strong arm. All he really needs, David, is some more experience. He needs some more time out on the field. Hard to rush a junior quarterback, especially here at Oak Ridge, but he just wouldn't tolerate much in the way of mental mistakes or errors early on in the season. Guthrie's going to be heard from next year. There's no doubt about that.
I'd like to remind everybody that next week the Oak Ridge Wildcats will be traveling to Upper East Tennessee and playing the Kingsport Dobbins-Bennett. That game should be another exciting game.
It's going to be a good one. It'll be hard for Oak Ridge to rebound and come back with a solid performance because they've had 2 real good ball games, good defensive game against Farragut. I was pleased from a spectator standpoint that Oak Ridge did not suffer a letdown after that big Farragut ball game. I think they may have aimed at it pretty high, and it was hard to get them refired back up, but all they had to mention with this was a district contest, and it was Clinton. As far as the Kingsport game, Oak Ridge will be on the road again. They're going to have to break their schedule a little bit and get out of school a little early. That can throw the timing off. They don't have a meal at home, or they're going to have to eat and go on the run. Be a different experience for them, about a 2.5 hour bus ride up there to play always tough Kingsport.
I'd like to remind everybody, like you said, the boosters will have a bus and they will travel to Kingsport. You can sign up for that bus on Monday at Jackson Square Pharmacy. Keith Guthrie wants to turn the ball upfield once again. He'll get the ball up to about the 38-yard line, and it'll be a gain on the play of maybe 3 yards. It'll be second down, 7 to go for Oak Ridge.
More substitutions coming into the game. It looks like Jimmy McMahon back in there, and number 85 this time, Stanton McCaskill into the ball game as John Young goes out for Oak Ridge.
Line of scrimmage is the 37-yard line of Oak Ridge. Up to the line of scrimmage will come the Cats. Wide to the left side, they'll have Chris Keever as they come up from the I. Second down, 9 yards to go. Handoff goes on the right side for a little yardage, maybe none at all, as the Clinton defense on the left side comes in and pursues the ball carrier. And it'll be, we'll call it no gain on the play. Third down, 7 yards to go.
Scott Crisp in the ball game now, and he'll bring the play in to Keith Guthrie. We'll see Keith get an opportunity to throw the ball here, third and long. We'll see Crisp going out to one side. I believe that's 88 for the Cats. Kevin Campbell split out wide to the left.
Third down, 7 yards to go. Movement on the Clinton team, and they're going to be assessed a 5-yard penalty. The man jumping off sides was Chris Howell, as Clinton really has come, and they've tried to play a hard game. They have played a hard game. Oak Ridge just was fired up on both sides of the ball and really just dominated the game from the start. And Jim Vines, what can we say? Kingsport next week, Oak Ridge, 13 consecutive wins over Clinton.
They've done it here tonight, and they've proved by far that they're a superior team. It's a game Oak Ridge needed. They've had, as you mentioned earlier, they've had a couple of close ball games. They've been fortunate to win all but one of them. This was a game they needed. They need some confidence as they try to head toward the playoffs.
Guthrie, pitch out right side, goes for some yardage. First down yardage, carrying the football
Redmond
was Jamie Redmond, and he has the ball close to the 50-yard line. He goes out of bounds and stops the clock, as I believe it'll be Oak Ridge. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball's just shy of Clinton territory at the 49-yard line. The first opportunity, if you just tuned in, Oak Ridge leads it by a score of 31-0. First opportunity for Coach Bill Young to really freely substitute. He did quite a bit in the Central game, but this time everyone's getting to play as Oak Ridge has run up a big lead. And from the I formation, Guthrie brings him up first down. Quick pitch off goes to Redmond, and he has the ball. He's hit it at the line of scrimmage. A little bit trouble on the line of scrimmage. He has maybe a yard on the play, if that much. We'll call it a yard. And it'll be second down, 9 yards to go.
It's got to be less than 2 minutes remaining in the contest as the clocks are not operating and the coaches are being notified little by little. He told them 4 minutes ago, 4 minutes a little while ago, and it's got to be 2 minutes or less as Oak Ridge is trying to take as much time off the clock as they can. They're really not trying to score here, Dave. They're making no real attempts. They're going to take it if it's given to them, but they're not really trying to throw for a big score right here.
Second down, 10 yards to go from the 48-yard line. Guthrie rolls to the left side, looks down the field. He has a man. It's going to be complete. And he's got good yardage, 40. Breaks it open, 30, 20, 15. Pushed out of bounds at the 14-yard line, carrying the football.
Lee Burkhardt.
A nice reception. It looked like kind of that he hesitated when he caught the ball, which caused the Clinton defense to hesitate.
The ball was just a little bit in front of him. He made a good job bringing the ball down for a reception. I don't think he realized how open he was. One of the Clinton defenders fell down, then he picked up a block from another runner, another receiver that was downfield, came back up to lay a key block on that play. Burkhardt about got him 6 points.
It'll be crisp wide to the right side. Oak Ridge from the 13-yard line. Keeps Guthrie up, I formation. First and 10, Oak Ridge. Guthrie turns the ball upfield, looks to the end zone. 5, inside to the 5, down to about the, inside the 10, down to the 7-yard line. So Oak Ridge close to another scoring opportunity here late in this ball game. A good opportunity for these players.
Yeah, you just really don't know how much time's left. We see Jimmy McMahon going back into the game as well as John Young. Eric Wells comes out for Oak Ridge. It's almost the entire receiving core and running backs as well as quarterback are now secondary players for the Cats. Doing an excellent job driving down the field. There's no way to tell, David. It could be just a few seconds to go in the ball game.
I believe it's indeed less than a minute to go. It'll be second down, 4 yards to go from the 7-yard line. Keith Guthrie hands it off on the left side, still battling for yardage. Goes Redmond, I believe. He's inside to about the 5-yard line. And it's close to another Oak Ridge first down. It'll be about a yard short. It'll be third down and 1 yard to go. Referee signaling that
ball game.
The game is over. And the Oak Ridge High School Wildcats have defeated the Clinton Dragons here at Blankenship Field as the Oak Ridge fans rise to their feet. The final score, 31-0. And Jim Vines, it was an excellent ball game for Oak Ridge.
Totally dominated by Oak Ridge. There's not a whole lot you can say except good preparation by the coaching staff and hard work by the Cats during the practice. That's basically what we've seen here tonight. Is there's hardly anybody left on the Clinton side, and a lot of the Oak Ridge fans have left as well, but there's a lot of people that want to savor this one for a long time. Oak Ridge has defeated Clinton 13 times in a row. Next year it could be a totally different ball game. I'm sure Clinton will have their head down for about a half an hour or so, and they're going to pick right back up. They still have an excellent chance of qualifying for the playoffs this year. Their big game, November 1st, when Halls and Clinton hook up.
We talked about that game in the pre-game show, and after the loss by the Dragons, that's really looking like the key game in District 3 AAA. And Oak Ridge will be playing Campbell County that week, and we'd like to be, too bad we couldn't be at both locations, but we'll be bringing you that Campbell County game. Don't worry about that. We'll also be bringing next week's game at Kingsport.
I want to remind everyone, too, David, that we're going to have a special pregame show and a special halftime guest. We're going to tease them a little bit at the start of the pregame and let them hear a little bit from one of our special guests. And then we're going to finish it up with a halftime special from up in Kingsport. We're looking forward to that one.
And that special guest is?
We're not saying that.
So once again, as we're going to take a 60-second break here, Oak Ridge wins the game by a score of 31-0, and we'll be back in 60 seconds.
Have fun?
Yeah, I wasn't leaving. I was just going to do that now.
David Clary, Jim Vines, Andy Hickey, Peter Simons, and Michael Lorendine, and John Hope here on Tennessee Cablevision Channel 7. We hope you enjoyed the football game. Wildcats winning the game by a score of 31-0. And John Hope, another fine job on camera. Jim Vines doing the play-by-play with me tonight. Jim Vines, this was the 10th Oak Ridge Clinton football game I've done.
Pretty impressive, David, and people are going to think you're ready for Social Security here before it's over with.
And everyone knows that you are at least 1 year older than me, Jim Vines. We're not going to let those ages out. Of course, I'm 16, he's 17, so it'll be, once again, the final score, Oak Ridge winning it by a score of 31-0.